Welcome back to 23-Minute Reads with me, Maya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5-minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is Black Performance Theory. As a part of my 23 to 23 challenge, I'm reading 23 minutes per day every day as an action of self-love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever-changing world. Hoping that you will join me along in this journey by liking this video. You can do that right now. Subscribing to the channel, you can do that right now, and dropping some comments down there in that comment section. You can do that at any point. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, as a dancer, and as a curriculum writer, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply providing a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read pages 176 through 200, and let me get my notes so I can share my takeaways. Takeaway number 1 is grace. So I read less than 30 pages this week, and I had to remind myself that at the beginning of the year, I asked this question: how many books can you read by the year 2023? When I reminded myself that this was not a race, I was able to provide myself with a certain level of grace. My daily life changes, these books change, and reading is my constant. As a matter of fact, comprehension is paramount. So at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I'm happy that I fulfilled my promise to myself by reading every day. And I'm happy that I understood what I read. Takeaway number 2 is vacuum. The quote reads, "He exists in a vacuum." This is a quote from the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough essay written by Jason King. This essay discusses the production This Is It, where Michael Jackson's aesthetic is described as a techno mega spectacle stadium pop soul. There are a number of ideas that are shared in this essay. One is that of Jackson as a multidimensional person being presented as normal through the use of this found footage documentary that suppresses his, here comes another quote, radical androgyny, queer paternity, and his long history of transmogrification, end quote. That's to say, to kind of think as if his art lies outside of these things and is not informed by those things or other aspects of his being and upbringing. Some were not very pleased with this vacuum idea, which takes me to takeaway number 3. Still about that same essay, takeaway number 3 is voyeuristic. Here comes a quote. "Many film critics similarly admired the behind-the-scenes mundanity of the rehearsal footage," end quote. The constructed found footage creates a voyeuristic behind-the-scenes experience for those watching the film. The great thing about this, or one of the things that this does, is undermines the notion that Black creatives are naturally imbued with talent and therefore lack discipline and process. Through the footage, we are able to see that Jackson embodied both a deep level of rooted intuition and discipline. I am left to wonder what others think, specifically like people that are new to their artistry and new to their creative process. What are their takeaways in looking at this production as an artist and seeing the process of Michael Jackson going through what it takes to get to these end spaces? As an audience member, they don't know how many hours you contributed to this work, but to see somebody that has established, that has accomplished so many things, what value does a upcoming artist take away from seeing this portion of his process? And I would love to hear your thoughts also. Remember to go ahead and drop them down there in those comments. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you again next week.